Yes, it is true. Even in Southern California, we're getting days when it doesn't quite get over 70. And so there you have it. Yeah, the change of garment. I'll probably, still wear my bright shirts from time to time. Anyway, Ron Barron was on CNBC the other day and he said that Tesla would be worth $1,500 a share in 2030. I would take that. I'm guessing you would take that. But I also think that he's way, way low. I think it'll be so much more than 1,500. So I've posted multiple earnings and price target projections from my co-hosts and of course from my own analysis. And there's a pattern emerging. There's this pattern. Almost everybody sees $600 next year. Some people think it'll be more. Brian White says more than 600. He's like at 1,000. Now, it's pretty easy to get to double today's sales and earnings just with cars and energy storage. So, energy storage will probably more than double next year. Cars are going to be up 20 to 30% according to Elon. I think they're going to be up a lot more. Then you have probably way more FSD take rate, increase, and also a higher percentage of the FSD being applied. You have bigger F, then you, I'm sorry, then you also have increases in services and others probably also going up more than double during that time. Throw in a little bit of revenue from robotaxis or license agreements. Then there's the IRA money, which will still be there, believe me, on the battery side. That's going to impact margins, so margins going up. Anyway, it's not hard to see that we could be doubling profits next year. So double profits, maybe you double the price, you're at 600 already. Well, of course, the price of the stock is always forward looking. And quite frankly, if you've been watching these videos over the last couple of days, and we've got one more to go, we've got another one from CERN Basher tonight, part two, which if you haven't seen part one, you should look at that. I will put that card up later. And also part two will be tonight. You want to make sure you see that. That'll be around, 7:45, I think, California time. Anyway, but if you double that again in 2026, which I think is certainly possible, because that's the year everything comes together. That will be the year when we probably have some really significant robotaxi sales and our income, and it'll be a lot of profit. And then we'll have some action from Optimus. You know, Jeff Lutz put that number at 30 to 100,000 Optimi that year. It would be significant increase in the total profits from that. And then continuing increases in car sales across the existing items. And then you got the Gen 2, the Semi, and the Cybercabs all coming out, and becoming a big deal that year. So it's pretty easy to imagine that doubling in 2026 over 2025. So then now you're closing in on the revenues of Walmart, because that would be 400,000 in revenues. 400 billion. What did I say? That'd be 400 billion in revenues. And if maybe you got a 15%, so maybe you got, 300. Wait a minute, for 15%. Let me do that again in my head because I'm doing this in my head right now. That would be 60 billion in profits. That's 6/10 of an apple. So anyway, assuming a $2 trillion value on a company that has forward earnings at that level, yeah, 2 trillion value should be the right number for the end of next year. Now, what do you guys think? Well, I can't poll you. Yeah, you can give me your comments below about what you think, but I can poll on X. So that's what I did. About 50% see Tesla at $500 or more next year end, and about half of those see it over 600. So about 25% each over that think it'll be between 500 and 600. Another 25% think it'll be 600 plus. I didn't put any breakdown about that 600 plus. Of course, the other 50% think it will be less. And most of those, of course, do think it will be over 400 next year. All right. I also, so there you go. I don't know, but it's kind of looking like that's the directionality. Now we're almost at 350 now, or we were 368 or whatever. So it's not that hard to contemplate getting up to 600, but we'll see what develops over the next 12 months. Anyway, I also ran this other poll. Has nothing to do with Tesla, nothing to do with economy or anything else. It just had to do with something I was thinking about. And I was like thinking about what was the age, because most of you are old like me, not as old as me, but some of you are. Anyway, at what age did you start being very, very excited that your bodily functions worked at least at about 90% on any given day? Let me know in the comments below. Why was I thinking about that? I don't know. Anyway, how about this one from Market Watch? Daniel Lieb's Third Point hedge fund placed a fresh bet on Tesla Inc. and sold off its stake in Uber. Oh, really? In the quarter ending September 30th, about a month and a half ago. This is according to a securities filing late Thursday. Tesla debuted its prototype Cybercab, of course, a robotaxi without steering wheels or pedals, last month, and surprised investors by unveiling a prototype autonomous van as well, the Robovan. Tesla's entry into a possible AI-fueled ride-hailing business is seen as potential threat to Uber. So they got out of Uber and into Tesla. Anyway, Loeb's Third Point fund ended the quarter with a new stake of about 400,000 Tesla shares, then worth about 105 million, now worth a lot more. The same number of shares would be worth around, oh, there it is right here, about 124 million. So I think they did a good bet there, making 20% in 15 days. I'm sorry, 45 days. Well, and they might have been in before the end of September. That's true. I'm sorry. That's true. Anyway, so it says Tesla is likely to thrive in a Trump administration. These are the ways these analysts see it happening. So Tesla shares have been on a tear ever since Donald Trump emerged as a victor of the November 5 presidential election. The EV maker is expected to benefit from the new administration, given Chief Executive Elon Musk's role as a prominent Trump insider. So for the few of you who continue to doubt whether that's going to have an impact, I think, have I said it enough? Musk's impact, the Trump administration is going to impact Tesla sales. It's going to impact Tesla profits. It's going to impact Tesla everything going forward. This is Randy Kirk, by the way. And Ed, no last name given, joined Patreon. And Lynn L. bought 5 more Cybertrucks. I think he's bought them before. I didn't look it up, but I think he's bought before. He says he's going to use these 5 Cybers. He's going to give them to some of his friends who voted the wrong way. And I suppose they need some consoling. So maybe you want to get some Cybertrucks and give them to some of your friends that didn't vote the way they should have. Or maybe you've got friends that you really care about and you just want to give them a very cool present for Christmas. Or you might have clients or others who would love a Cybertruck at this point. We just have the 2 kinds still, the stainless and the camouflage. But did you know that if you order 6, you can make them any color you want? You can put your name on them, your brand. You could have a party where you handed them out as party favors and put your face on them or your child's face. I mean, there's just so many unlimited things you can do, and you only have to buy 6 in order to get the price. Now, if you want to only buy 1, you can do that. I don't know what it would cost. Let me know. Listen, I only want to buy 1. It might cost you as much as 6. So you buy the 5 for free. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Let me know in the comments, or let me know, DM me or email me, whatever, if you want to buy less than 6. Or if you want to buy 100 or 200 or 300 for something really, really big, that's probably also a good reason to send me a note. All right. This is from the 𝐒𝐚𝐭𝐮𝐫𝐝 letter, who we haven't quoted for quite a while now. He says, breaking, money market fund assets under management have exceeded $7 trillion for the first time in history. How about that? Larry has talked an awful lot about money market funds. I don't know much about money market funds. Anyway, over the last week, $91 billion flowed into these funds, despite the Fed cutting rates by another 25 basis points. Assets in money market funds have doubled in just 4.5 years. According to the Crane 100 Money Fund Index, which tracks the 100 largest market funds, these funds are now yielding 4.51, just about the same as 10-year treasuries. Money market inflows are surging like rate cuts are being canceled. Yeah, but that's not the reason. 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐚𝐲, you drive me nuts with your great information and your so-so analysis. Okay, I'm not going to go into the reasons why that is not the right way to analyze it, but that's for another day. Okay, I checked out the All In podcast earlier today. If you're not watching those guys, it's quite entertaining. Two of them are full MAGA. One of them claims to be an independent, although I think he's extremely conservative on the financial side. And one is mostly left liberal, although probably middle on economics. Anyway, all four of them think that the Musk-Ramaswamy move is amazing. They're all 100% excited and thrilled and think that's just a phenomenal idea. And all four actually liked the Bobby Kennedy pick. All four mentioned the Bobby Kennedy pick. David Freeberg, who is the independent, thinks that the cabinet is designed to be disruptive, not just a little disruptive in a way that it will cause a complete reset. He compared it to evolution. He said it's kind of like the evolution of species. He says they get hit by a meteor or have some other major interrupting event, and the strongest survive that. And then going forward, everything has changed, and that's what he's thinking is going to happen. The dominant, those surviving these cabinet picks are designed and specifically being chosen to create a certain amount. He didn't say this. I'm going to say it this way: to create a certain amount of chaos and to do a lot, maybe break some things that are a bad idea to break, and then you have to fix them again. It's okay. Anyway, he says those who survive these cabinet heads will be the super players who will set the direction for years to come. And my suspicion that some of those cabinet officials will bring some of their own super players in to play on their team as part of this change. So this is a little bit, okay, the rest of today, the rest of it, this next thing is going to be a little bit off the beaten path. If you're interested in warfare, if you're interested in drones at all, and I'm not crazy interested in warfare, but I am crazy interested in drones as they apply to warfare. And you've heard me say that before. Elon Musk believes that the drones are the future of warfare. I believe that drones are the future of warfare. I'm talking about the ones that fly. That doesn't even count the ground level drones like some of the dogs and also even the humanoids. You know, and we've all watched the Star Wars movies and stuff and seen this happen, but no, the drones are the ones that make me nuts. And I just wanted to read this to you. It is from Wall Street Journal today. And, you know, if this is not interesting to you, this is a good time to click off because that's all I'm going to do from now on. No more Tesla, no more economics. All right, so this is from the Ukraine. Killer robots have arrived on the Ukrainian battlefield. In a frontline dugout this spring, a Ukrainian drone navigator selected a target, a Russian ammunition truck. By tapping it on his tablet, he just tapped, you know, right here, just the pilot flicked a switch on his handset, selected autopilot, and then watched the drone swoop down from a few hundred yards away and hit the vehicle. "Let it burn," said one of the team as they observed a plume of smoke on a video feed from a reconnaissance drone. You get the one drone doing the kamikaze thing, you got the other drone watching and sending back pictures. Strikes like this represent a big advance in Ukraine's attempt to use computers to help it combat Russia's huge army. The drone that carried it out was controlled in the final attack phase by a small onboard computer designed by the US-based company Auterion, Auterion. Auterion. Anyway, several other companies, many of them Ukrainian, have successfully tested similar autopilot systems on the battlefield. Now, even bigger breakthroughs loom. Mass-produced automated drones. In a significant step not previously reported, Ukrainian drone suppliers are ramping up output of robot-attack drones to an industrial scale, not just prototypes. Enabling this upshift is producers' successful integration of inexpensive computers into sophisticated, compact systems that replicate capabilities previously found over much pricier equipment. None of this is new, said Auterion founder and chief executive Lorenz Meyer. The difference is just the price. Kiev is set to receive tens of thousands. Yeah, you heard that right. Tens of thousands of Auterion's miniature computers, known as Skynode, which could hit the battlefield early next year. Virally Drone, a top Ukrainian drone startup, said it could produce several thousand autopilot drones starting this month. I'm assuming that means several thousand a month. And other companies are ramping up production also. So you could be looking at thousands and 10,000 a month entering into the battlefield. Ukraine, with a population 1/4 the size of Russia's, is reliant on maintaining a technological edge in order to hold off the waves of Russian tanks and infantry, even from Korea. The use of computer-controlled drones is particularly promising as it significantly reduces the number of people needed to carry out tasks, from identifying targets to striking them. They also offer a cheap alternative to more expensive missiles and artillery shells that could help Ukraine maintain its defense in the new Trump administration as they cut funding. Ukraine's small explosive drones are already carrying out most of the strikes on the front line. The large-scale production of autonomous drones could turbocharge Ukraine's fight against Russia by overcoming the biggest obstacle these drones face, Russia's electronic jamming. The tech has moved from concept to the battlefield, but the question is, will it exist in numbers to make an impact, said Samuel Bendet, Senior Associate in the Europe, Russia, and Eurasia program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. The advances also place further developments on the immediate horizon, such as enabling one pilot to control a swarm of several drones that can largely fly and coordinate themselves. I talked about this on this channel probably over a year ago. Auterion is collaborating with Ukrainian startup Swarmer to bring autonomous swarms to the front line, while Virally is working with Sign Engineering, SINE Engineering, another new Ukrainian company. Russia has also said it's using computer-guided drones to strike targets. In addition, several videos have appeared online claiming to show Russian explosive drones guided by long fiber optic cables, avoiding jamming and providing a clearer video feed. Imagine that, fiber optic cables. Wow. Ukraine's nimble use and adaptation of aerial drones for reconnaissance and strikes has given it an edge over Russia since the start of the war. Ukraine has typically innovated faster than Russia, but the Kremlin's advantage lies in its ability to increase production in its state-directed economy once it has equipment that works. Kiev's drone makers are the antithesis of modern armament producers, which have become industrial behemoths. Ukraine's young companies operating under the threat of attack and tapping innovation from all corners of society have formed an industrial ecosystem of garage-sized factories and converted workshops. Coordinating with government help, many specialized in certain components such as propellers, structural elements, and motors. With limited supplies of artillery ammunition, Ukraine has in the past year become increasingly reliant on explosive drones to hold back the Russian waves. The fast, nimble craft have 4 rotors and are all about the size of a dinner plate. They're controlled by a pilot wearing goggles. Goggles? Why would the pilot wear goggles that receive a live video feed from an onboard camera? They are known as first-person view drones, or FPVs, and explosives attached that detonate on impact. Well, there you go, folks. I'm telling you, it's a new world when it comes to the battlefield. Now, is that a good use of those hundreds of thousands of dead individuals in the Ukraine and Russia? I don't think so. But we have definitely moved, I think, into a completely new world in terms of how the battlefield will look. Maybe it'll be a good reason not to do war. But right now, we've got 2.5 wars between Israel, Ukraine, and the Houthis, not to mention some of the stuff that goes on in Africa that nobody even pays attention to. And that's become a big issue for some, saying, how come we're paying so much attention to the Ukraine-Russia thing when we have all these other issues that are killing hundreds or thousands of individuals? Anyway, I'm going so far afield. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. So please don't forget, I'm putting the card up right here for the CERN Basher part. I can't remember. I want to say that CERN Basher part 2 is tonight. CERN Basher part 1 was yesterday. I think that's right. We had the AJ part 2 this morning. I'm pretty sure that, yes, in fact, that's the one I'm going to give you the card on. I'm going to give you the card on AJ Part 2 because I noticed that not a lot of people were watching that, and it was really, really good. So the AJ Part 2, okay, I'll put the Sir Basher Part 1 also. So both of those will be up there. You can check both of those out if you haven't already. And then Cern, later on tonight, about 7:45 California time, will be the Cern Basher Part 2, where we take you all the way to $600 or the actual real value of Tesla at this time. That part is also fascinating. I'll just tell you, it's in the thousands and thousands of dollars. All right. Don't forget to buy your Cybertruck bottle opener. Come on, you got to do it now because you will forget. It'll all of a sudden, it'll be December 23rd, and you'll be going, oh, I've been there. How many times? I can't begin to tell you. All right. It's been great talking to you.